is the sum of a certain pair of integers odd? So that is an alert that this would be a good time to review our even and odd rules when we are, let's do both when we are multiplying and when we are adding. So if we have an even times an even, or an even times an odd, or an odd times an odd. And so the multiplication rules are the ones that are easy for me to remember because I just remember it as if there is an even anywhere, the whole thing becomes even. And so you can have a million odd numbers multiplied by each other, and then all of that times 2, the whole thing becomes even. And the only way to get an odd is to multiply all odds. Now the ones sometimes I have to think for a second are when we are adding. So that's no problem because just come up with any example. 4 plus 4 is 8, so an even plus an even is even. Even plus odd, 4 plus 3 is 7, which is odd. And then odd plus an odd, so 3 plus 3 is 6, which is even. So here, the question is asking is the sum of a certain pair of integers odd. And so there is only one way when we are adding to get an odd, and that is this way here. And so this means our two numbers, they have to have different, and I actually looked this up once because I used to be say evenness or oddness, and I kind of sounded like an idiot, but the word is parity. So our question is really saying, do our two numbers have different parity? But I'm actually going to stick with evenness or oddness because words, I believe, are intended to convey meaning, and parity has a different meaning. It means something else, at least the way I learned it. So this is just confusing. I have no idea why they also would apply that here. There's nothing wrong with evenness or oddness. That perfectly describes what we're looking for. So do our two numbers have different evenness or oddness? I'm sticking with that. Statement 1, the difference between the integers is odd. So your rules for addition should also apply to subtraction, because subtraction really is addition. It's just, you're adding a negative. So this is the same. So if the difference between our integers is odd, well, the sum of our two integers should also be odd. And so based on that, this is sufficient. Statement 2, one of the integers is even and the other is odd. Again, because that is the only way to get an odd number when we are adding, this is also sufficient. Statements are basically telling us the same thing. D.